Underworld Ministry.
What's up, you guys?
What's going on, guys?
We have a few special things for today. First of all, it's my birthday, so happy birthday, me.
Everybody in the comments that's watching right now, say happy birthday to Sarah.
Thank you.
Please.
Thanks to everyone who does.
So, what do you guys think of past Sunday?
Oh my god, it was amazing. We're going back.
Oh my god.
We want to give a huge thank you to both Emma and Jen, and especially Bonnie, because she's the coordinator there. So thank you to all three of you guys.
The
for letting us
spirits
come
at
in.
the May Stringer house was definitely awake.
So thanks to the spirits and
Definitely
everyone
awake.
who let us come into the house. It was amazing. We're going back for his birthday in
You
February.
got your first happy birthday.
Thank you, Nicole.
Harlem.
Thank
awesome
you.
Birthdays are flooding in. Yeah,
Thank you.
guys.
Oh, that's Tyler.
Nice. So, we have a very special guest this week.
We have two, actually. One is a live person, and the other one is not so live person.
Kind of a
That
live person.
both Emma and Jen were so kind as to let me bring her home with me.
From the Stringer house. This is Elle. This is our new haunted doll.
Her eyes have been blue the entire time. For those who don't know, her eyes change color from black to blue depending on her mood. They've been blue the whole time. So we've got a good relationship starting. And
We pampered her. We did her hair. We fixed her clothes.
We did a spa day.
We did.
But now,
back to the normal person.
For the live guest.
So it's been a while since we've had an actual interview.
I know, it's been a couple weeks.
So, our guest this week is... Spirit Squad, Pennsylvania. Or Paranormal.
Yeah.
I don't know why I get Pennsylvania.
We're stuck on Pennsylvania.
I don't know. We're still stuck on that Conjuring episode.
On the Penhurst too.
Oh, man. So we should bring our guest on.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring our guest on?
I do.
Yeah? All right.
Her name is Jennifer. Hi.
Jennifer, what's going on?
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'd like to say happy birthday, Sarah.
Once I gotta fix the volume. Is that better?
Can we hear you? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? Can
Yes.
hear you.
Yes. There we
Okay.
go. All right.
So
Like I said. Got you. I think your speaker is a little low.
Okay. See if I can adjust it. Can you hear me better now?
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
Awesome.
So this is Jen from the Spirit Squad or Paranormal.
I like your
gonna say it
logo.
again.
Thank you.
It is cool. Did you create this yourself, or?
Actually, Rachel, one of our group members, she was the creative genius behind that.
That's
nice.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. I love handmade stuff like that.
And then you said that the picture that we used in our clip to introduce you said this is a new picture, correct?
It is just from a couple weeks ago when we were on an investigation.
That's awesome.
Excuse me, Edinburgh Manor.
Edinburgh
you're
Manor. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
I have a history with bathtubs too. There we went into there was an old hospital in Pennsylvania, and there was like 6 floors in this building. It's really run down and abandoned. Little urban explorer, you know. But I sat in that bathtub by myself for a good half hour in the building by myself, and yeah, I heard running up and down the hallways, and so yeah, get into that creepy stuff.
We have a couple of things to talk about today, don't we?
So, tell me about yourself. Where are you from? A little background.
I'm from Iowa, born and raised here. I have 3 children. I have 6 grandkids.
Wow.
Yeah, paranormal's always been, I guess it's something that it's always been part of my life. It's started, from the first house I have memories of growing up.
What happened in these houses? The first house.
Do you remember anything?
I do. I remember a lot. We moved there when I was 4, and it was an old farmhouse. My mother owned it for about 28 years. So I spent all of my childhood and into my adult life there. Um, there was a lot of things. I always knew that there were like 3 separate spirits there.
Right.
One was more of a child, one was more of a teen or a young adult, and then there was a male figure that wasn't very nice, didn't really hurt anyone, but liked to scare people.
Got it.
And so my parents divorced when I was young, um, and my sister and my mom and I lived in this house. And um, the male spirit would do things like turn the lights on in the middle of the night or pull the covers off my sister and do things to scare them. And then they would run to get me to make it stop.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of our first little interview that we did on season 2 was the Perrin family with the Conjuring house and
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Yep.
So
We're trying to get in contact with
Like-
Andrea. We have
kind of like growing up in a haunted house, like it just makes you more curious while you grow up and you can actually investigate now. And so how your team like related or family or just friends?
Yeah. So a little of all of it. So we're 2 sets of mother and daughters.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So my oldest daughter is one of my team members, and then her cousin by marriage is one of our team members, along with her mom.
that's
So
cool.
yeah. So it's very, very cool.
So did she grow up with paranormal too, like in a house like you did, or what got her?
My
Yeah.
daughter, yeah. Well, so the house that I raised my kids in was actually my grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't have the same activity that my childhood home did, but there were things that happened, and we were always open about the spiritual world.
Right.
If they asked questions, we didn't hide things. We didn't want them to be scared, and I'm of the belief that things are less scary when you understand them.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, yep. And my mom is very much of a sensitive also, and she used to
Okay.
have premonitions when we were younger. So it's just kind of something that's pretty normal in my family.
Got you.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That's how
yeah.
I was.
She, actually, a house right around the corner from where we're living now.
My family grew up in.
Yeah,
My
and
cousins.
they were haunted. And both houses that I lived in Pennsylvania were extremely haunted. Like stuff flying off the walls and shadows walking past the doors, and yeah. So yeah, oh yeah. How long have you been investigating? Is this kind of like a lifelong thing so far, or was like a certain point where like I want to be an investigator?
Yeah, I would say probably about 7 years ago, we got just a big group of family and friends together, kind of like a girls' night out slumber party type. Hey, let's go on a
Right.
ghost hunt type thing. And none of us had ever been on one before. So we did that. It was a lot of fun. And some of us kept going, and the other ones said, oh, heck no, never doing it again.
Yeah. So that was pretty much my first. I went to Pennhurst State School,
Okay.
and yeah, I instantly hooked. I was already into the paranormal. This is literally the only thing I've ever wanted to do. Like, ask anybody that's ever grown up with me. I was the creepy ghost kid in the corner. Always talked about spirits and ghosts. But speaking of ghosts, you have a picture of a figure sitting in a chair.
hmm
Where exactly is this? You want to get a little background before I show the picture?
Yeah. So That picture was taken at Edinburgh also. It is in the basement, which would have been in the dining area.
Okay.
Tables and chairs are still set up down there. And it was in the morning. So that building, we have caught a lot of some of our best evidence between like 6 and 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, which makes
Wow.
sense because it was an old poor farm. It was a hospital. And you think about the activity that would have happened in that building, and mornings would have been a very busy time.
Yeah, going down to get your breakfast, and yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
So he sent me this picture, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
here it is!" It literally looks. You can see the head, you can see the shoulders, you can see,
Yeah.
you can see literally everything but your legs.
Right. Right. And to give you, to give you a little bit more background about this picture, what makes it even more incredible was immediately prior to this being taken. This was actually taken out of a video. My daughter Nicole and I were in the manor packing some things up from the night before's investigation.
Right.
And Rachel and Chris were back at the little house out behind the manor. And we just spontaneously said, "Hey, why don't we just do a quick EVP?" We were putting things away, and my phone died. Our recorder wouldn't work. My
Wow.
camera that I'd had plugged in there wouldn't turn on. And she's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I got battery on my phone. I'll just use my phone." And we had the spirit box or the Ovilus going. And the Ovilus was saying things like, "Look," and, "See me," and things like that. And we were
Yeah.
hearing little noises down the hall. Well,
Right.
then Nicole says at one point, "Can you please just give us a sign if you're here?" And the lights went out in the hallway.
Wow.
There was one light in the building that was on, and it went completely out. Like you could hear like a switch flip.
Wow. That's awesome.
And yes, so then we thanked them, said kind of goodbye temporarily. We're going to go get our friends if you want to continue speaking with us, because the other message that came through was, it said basement, and it was kind of directing us to not leave, asking us not to leave. So
Right.
we went and retrieved Chris and Rachel and came and did a walkthrough and went into the basement, and that's when we captured that picture of the spirit in the chair.
I'm gonna show it one more time for the viewers. That's so cool.
That is cool.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I'm sure you have very cool.
Not yet. I will though. Believe me, you're part of the Underworld family now, so you'll know.
I really wish I'd recorded what happened in the doctor's office, but
Yeah.
my phone is dead.
That's literally what happened to us this past Sunday at the Stringer house. Like everything was packed away. We were literally just hanging out, talking,
After
and like
everything's packed away,
asking the spirits to stay there. And Sarah had a full conversation with a flashlight.
I get
with
the best
spirit.
activity of the night when everything's put away and my phone's dead because we've been using it as the hotspot all night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So is this next picture? Is this one of your investigators mirror shrining, or what is she doing here? Scrying. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a mirror. Yeah, there was a scrying mirror, and she was we'd kind of isolated her, and I wasn't actually on this investigation. The other 3 members of the group were.
Right.
But it was a very, very cool. It was a very, very cool area, and they said it was very active that night, especially in that area.
Got you. Is this in the manor where you caught the figure in the basement?
This is
Or
not.
no.
This is Malvern Manor. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a different location.
Got you. So have you done a lot of poor farms? Or do you go to big locations, or do you stick more to houses and personal cases?
We do a little bit of everything. So a lot of times it seems like sometimes we're invited places. just as you have mentioned. There
Right.
are places that we book for private investigations. We have done poor farms, we've done hospitals. We're doing a funeral home on the 30th of the month. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
you gotta
we've
let me know
done,
how it is. I keep telling Sarah that I want to do a funeral home so bad.
yeah, yeah. So this is going to be our first formal investigation at a funeral home.
That's
But
cool.
so we're excited about that. We've done old hospitals, we've done schools, we've done private investigations, like I said, where people have asked us to come in,
Right.
a few cemetery locations.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much open. We're pretty much always open to something.
Yeah, we go to a local cemetery around here, and we kind of just make shorts out of it.
Yeah.
We do little investigations here and there. But yeah, when we're bored, we're usually at a cemetery. Um, so how did you? Oh, I got through that. What's your most crazy experience during an investigation?
Oh gosh, we've had several, to be quite honest.
What's your oh my god, like never forget moment?
Okay, I would say, and I hope this doesn't get too personal for my daughter, but we were doing an Estes method, and my daughter was under the headphones, blindfolded. She was not facing us. I mean, we were kind of like in outside of the room actually. And the things that the responses we were getting from her to the questions we were asking very much started turning very personal and started becoming almost like the spirit was speaking, trying to connect to her, like it was a message for her.
Right.
And so the background to this is her father died when she was 14.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. And he was murdered, and the messages that were coming through in between were like his name came through.
Wow.
And then there would be, you know, kind of just generalized stuff, generalized words and phrases. But then
Right.
it said gun, it said murder, it said like love you. And it was just like, it started becoming like this just series of like messages.
Yeah.
And it became so like almost overwhelming that we ended up stopping the live sooner than we expected because it was
Wow.
very emotional.
Yeah, I know. That's
It's a hard one.
yeah, that's a really hard story to hear. My condolences, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
I actually had a personal experience like that. I lived with my grandparents pretty much for good 8, 9 years, and my grandma passed away unfortunately while I lived in PA. And I had just got my SB11, so of course you get new equipment. You're like, cool, I want to play with it.
Right.
I had just had it on running, and it, not paying attention. I was paying attention to something in my room, and I heard Christopher out of the spirit box, and it sounded like my grandma's voice. So
Yep.
I understand about the personal relationship between spirits and people. Like they're people. They
Yeah.
used to be people. Like they still have emotions, and
They do.
that's a really cool. I consider that more of like a personal experience than
It
anything
is.
else.
Right.
So this is at the same manner that she was doing the shrining in.
It is.
No,
Yep.
manner. So
Mhm.
is this like a property got shut down and everything got where it is and that's where it is?
Pretty much. Yes. Yes. So,
Right.
it was a hotel, and then it was also a hospital, which seems kind of a strange combination of things
Yeah.
to be, but very, very cool location. Lots of activity. We always have a great time when we visit it.
Is this one of your investigators
Mhm.
just setting up the camera, or is this
That's
is that the other mother?
Yes, that's Chris. Yep.
Chris. Got ya. she was doing what is a portal project?
So that's something that the manor there was setting up, and it was they were, like I said, I wasn't actually on this investigation, but my understanding is that they'd set up this scrying mirror, and they were encouraging groups to come through and see, use it, record themselves, try to see what types of experiences they were going to have there, and they're kind of collecting information from various groups to kind of see what they come up with, how things fit together. So it's kind of a cool project. And I do believe that, if I'm not mistaken, that they also have a similar portal set up in other locations that they're connected with.
Wow.
They're kind of pulling from more than one location at the same time.
Right. Kind of making a portal.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, we asked if you would share 2 pieces of equipment that you like using during an investigation. Do you want to explain that a little bit before we get into other pictures?
Yeah, sure. So I personally love dowsing rods.
Me too.
That's one of my favorites. That would be personally my go-to.
Okay.
And because my team members know this, we started kind of combining it with the ovulus. And so the way that we do that is we started referring to it as, we call it the drove method, which is just a combination of dowsing rods and the beginning of ovulus.
Right.
So, and the way that we do it is we set the ovulus on the true false setting, and we interpret the true false setting to be yes or no responses. And
Wow.
then I will be using the dowsing rods, and I use the dowsing rods I'm set up ahead, like in front of the ovulus. So they're
Right.
set up behind me where I can't see the screen. And then we'll ask questions to see if what response I get is corroborated by the ovulus.
That's
And
awesome. I've never
yes,
thought of something like that.
yes. And a lot of times it will be in sync with each other. But what's really cool about it is that, taking it one step further, is that when we start to get responses that are completely different, we've kind of started to take that as an indication that we may be connecting with more than one spirit. So there may be
Right.
more than one entity responding. And so what we'll do at that point a lot of times is switch and do a double Estes method, where the spirits can actually come through and speak with us. And in doing it that way, we've actually gotten the spirits to have conversations with each other through each spirit box.
That's pretty cool. I want to go buy another SP7 so we can do it together.
Yeah.
So, and Rachel, is this one of your teammates?
It
Or
is. It
okay.
is, yes.
Good.
And she may be commenting. Yeah.
Okay.
She said the mirrors are connected to Valiska Axe Murder House.
Yep. I couldn't remember where the other location was.
It's okay. That's pretty good. Have you been to the Valiska?
Yes, we have.
Oh man. All right. Kind of envy right now.
Well, and the backstory there is, so Melbourne Manor is not very far from the Valiska house,
Okay.
the Valiska Axe Murder House.
Right.
And so the backstory goes is, the murder at Valiska were never solved.
Right.
There was somebody that was suspected, charged, tried, but there was never a conviction, and it was never proven. And one of the theories, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the theories was that the gentleman that was suspected, he was in Melbourne the night before, and he took a train from Melbourne into Valiska. He was in Valiska the night the murders happened.
Wow.
So I think that has something to do with the choice of where those mirrors were set up, because of possible connection on the road, the path of travel.
The last didn't Destination Fear do? They did a Valiska Axe and they did a hotel. Is that the manor you're talking about?
It could have possibly been because it was a hotel at one point.
Got you. Yeah, they did a double investigation, and what half of the group went to Velisca, and the other one went to the hotel. Yeah, and it
That would make
coincided.
sense.
They were getting the same answers at the same place.
Mhm.
That's awesome. That's cool. So this next one, this is with your team also. Can you explain this picture a little bit? The Old Mercy Hospital.
Yeah. So that's in Oskaloosa, Iowa, and it was an old hospital that was closed down. And so much of the equipment's still there. The beds are still there.
Wow.
Some of the pharmacy equipment is still in place, and they have a room where they have like very antique medical equipment,
Yeah.
which it was very, very, very cool location.
So it was pretty much filled with sugar objects.
Oh, the whole place was, yeah. As you can see, we found the lab coats and we were wearing them.
Yeah. I was going to ask about it. Is that a bathrobe or a doctor's or a coat?
No, we found them. We found them in a closet, and they said we could wear them. So Chris
Got you. Now, did you guys during the investigation, you put the coats on and we're the new doctors coming?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So how did that work out? Did you get any activity off of that?
We did get some. I would say at that location, we, kind of every place you go, it seems like you get something a little bit different. But we had a lot of sounds. We had a lot of I'm always careful about orbs, but there was a lot of light, anomalies. I'll say not necessarily orbs, but there was a lot of light anomalies. And then we were hearing a lot of sounds in different locations of the building. So it was very active, but it was one of those locations that was very tricky to capture things as far as evidence goes, because it seemed like it was always stayed one step ahead of you when you were trying to set up or catch up to it. Then it was kind of almost playing hide and seek with us.
That's cool.
Nicole said that was a great night.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
So everybody in the comments that's saying hello.
Hi. Thank you guys.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming. David, hi. I wanted to throw everybody in the comment while we're doing the interview.
Paying attention.
So this one, you're actually the second interview that we've done with paranormal groups that have a FLIR.
Oh, okay.
So where is this that you're doing the investigation that you got this picture from?
Okay, so that was at the Granger House in Marion, Iowa.
Got ya. So what, were you outside just walking around with your thermal and you caught this?
Yes. So what I will say, for those who aren't really familiar with the thermal imaging, is that you have to be very careful when you're using the equipment to not contaminate your evidence if you're going to collect anything from them. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that, especially with glass, that's why glass makes good portals, and that's why people capture a lot of good evidence with apparitions and such in windows and mirrors, because glass traps energy. Glass retains, the heat signature.
Right.
And so just like other objects do as well. So I'm usually careful. I will typically be in front if I have the FLIR, or I will stay kind of to a different location. Like if they're doing one side of a building, I might be on the other side of it where they haven't traveled yet, so that I'm crossing paths or crossing over an area where they may have transferred a heat signature. Because otherwise, like if they stand in front of a mirror and then I take a picture in front of that mirror, it's going to look like there's somebody in that mirror. There's not. So the thing that is amazing about this photo is that I called them over to where I was because I saw this in the window.
Yeah.
And I called them over to where I was. And as they approached me, the EMF detector spiked like 129.
Holy crap.
9, and then was bouncing all over the place. And I said, you guys got to get a picture of this. We need to try to get all of this collectively together in a good picture.
Right.
And by the time Chris got over next to me with the equipment she had, and we got the photo taken, I think the reading said 70, around
Yeah.
70, which was still pretty amazing.
Yeah. No,
But
that's the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so that reading of 70 was actually way down from what it had been when she was walking towards me.
Wow.
And you can see the actual grids of the window in the clear picture.
Yeah.
After we took the picture and captured it, we went inside the barn to check the inside out to prove that there was not a loft up there where somebody could have been standing. There wasn't. There wasn't any type of a second level, even though it's a second story window in the building, because it's an open barn area, an open barn space. So there was absolutely no way that anybody could have been up in that space and moved and left a transfer of any kind in that
Right.
in that window.
At least without you guys noticing.
Right. Exactly. So that's kind of what we were that's what we look at. We do not like to put any evidence out there unless we have been as thorough as we know how to be in assessment.
Now, viewers, this picture is the coolest picture I've ever seen. Out of this whole interview and the whole podcast that we've been doing, this is awesome. Look at this. You can literally see the millimeters, the 70 milligauss with a full figure in the window. And you look up at the window and there's literally not a single thing.
Nothing.
That's, yeah, I'd be calling her too. I'd be like, Sarah, get over here now.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, she sent me that one and I just stood there like this. I'm like, I trying to debunk it, like just being an investigator, like how is that possible? That's, oh man.
Right.
So with a FLIR, that kind of, it just connects to your phone port and makes your phone a thermal, correct?
It does, yes.
That's, do you use that a lot during investigations?
We do now.
Yeah. And after that picture, I would too. Absolutely. So this next picture, actually, we got a comment. You can see the figure as clear as day. Absolutely. Yes, you can. So this next picture, is this during an interview or investigation, like in the next morning you walked out and saw the footprints, or in the snow?
It is.
Explain this picture before I bring both of them up a little.
Well, the funny thing about this picture is that we had a strange experience the night before, probably between 1 and 2 a.m. Nicole and Rachel had been out on one side of the house on the deck.
Right.
There's a little house out behind the manor, and they were out on the front deck there.
Right.
And unbeknownst, I was out on the opposite side of the building, just sitting out there also. They both saw something of a large size run past the side of the yard, and they were trying to figure out what it was, but it was what they thought to be a large animal.
Right.
Came inside the house. Almost immediately at the same time, I heard something growl to my right side, like very guttural type growl.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there. So I also go back inside because I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And didn't know that they
is that more like a Scooby-Doo situation? Like, nope, not me anymore by myself.
Yeah. So they're coming in one door, I'm coming in another door, and they're telling me what they saw, and I'm telling them what I heard.
Yeah.
And so we're looking around, we go out, we look around, we don't see anything, right? So then the next morning, we're like, hey, it snowed a little bit. Let's go see if we can find anything, any footprints or happen to see anything. And there were the bunny tracks and the squirrels or whatever. But then from the direction that they thought they saw this thing come from, we caught these footprints.
Wow. Yeah, there's like no mistaking. Just the whole.
Weird foot.
It literally looks like it's just hopping on one leg.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's not two sets of footprints at all.
That's like a really long stride.
Yeah, right?
There's
Wow.
only 3 toes.
So
Mhm.
this is a better picture of the footprint. That is like a Shaquille O'Neal footprint.
It's
Like,
huge. I mean, it was huge.
There's a clear toe.
Hmm.
There's a clear heel and there's a
Yeah.
clear toe and the big toe right next to it. That's
Like one
Yep.
big toe. And then a little pinky toe.
Yeah.
Right there.
yeah.
There's only 3 though.
I know. That's what I thought was odd. And there's almost like a ridge, you know, in the center of the foot, kind of between the
Yeah.
where the toes run to.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can see the separation from the foot to the
Mhm.
toe.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's really cool.
Like, it
So,
looks like a weird shoe print.
Yeah.
and that's one toe sticking out of the shoe. What do you think?
Weird. I'd look up what kind of footprint that is.
So
Oh,
you
we
sent
tried.
you sent it to somebody to get it looked at, and what was the outcome of that?
Well, we sent the picture to DNR to ask their opinion on it and to say, hey, what do you think made this print? And their response was they didn't know. They didn't know what made it. And they, you know, said maybe it was a cluster of a bunch of little prints.
Right.
But we're not so sure that that's what we think it is.
Yeah, no, that doesn't look like anything human for sure. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
Thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Welcome
So
back from work.
at this time, I'm going to play a little ad real quick, and then actually, I'm going to take this one away. There you go. At a half hour. Here's the video, guys.
What the fuck is up? My name is Jacob Sin. You can get your Tampa Sin shirt today. All you have to do is go to jacobsin.com. That's right, jacobsin.com. We have them in large, extra large, and double extra large. jacobsin.com. Get yours today.
That is Jacob Sin at jacobsin.com. Go get your shirts.
We're really hoping he's going to be at the convention with us. There's a good chance, but it's 50-50 right now. But we're
Hopefully
we're
you'll
hoping
be
they're going to be there.
That's one of my really good friends. I used to tour with them, and he was a local artist here. So just helping out a brother. So now we get into the most awesome picture, because I want to know what this little road trip is. What is this?
Ooh.
Well, that was a trip we took to Beatty Mansion in Missouri. And
Got it.
so we wanted to do something fun to kind of promote the trip. And so what we did was we kind of came up with these little hints, little riddles, and we dropped them every so often
Right.
to get people curious about the location and to see if anybody could guess where we were going. And
Right.
then during the live, we, you know, told everybody where we were. But prior to that, the first person to guess what our location was won a set of dowsing rods.
That's
Nice.
awesome. That's cool. Which, never know. Underworld might do the same.
Hey, we have 2
Yeah.
pairs now. 'Cause thanks
Watch
to my
out
mom.
for those hints. Watch out
Do
for
it.
those hints.
Thanks to my mom, I have a
Jen's inspiring us.
Jen's gonna try to guess it first.
So
I might.
you have one clip that you sent us, a video clip. Do you want to explain this a little bit to us, and then we'll show the clip?
Oh, I'm trying to think of which one it was that I sent you.
The laser grid?
Oh, yes. There were so many that we were choosing from.
Yeah.
So, so the laser grid was at the Horridge House in Vinton, Iowa. And that was an amazing trip. So what we had done, unbeknownst to us, is that we had set up a laser grid in the dining room, facing the opposite wall into the hallway that led up to the stairs.
Right.
In the doorway of the kitchen, we had a camera set up, and then in an adjoining room, we had another video camera set up to kind of, record any activity. After doing that, we actually, all four of us had gone. At that time, I think we had a couple extra members joining us. We went upstairs to do an Estes method session.
Okay.
And we were upstairs, we were asking questions, just kind of hanging out. We really weren't getting any responses that we knew of until we got home and started reviewing some of our footage, and then caught what was happening with the laser grid.
Oh, it's awesome. And then you also told me you guys saw this and then went back to the location to reenact it, and you got the same exact thing.
Wow.
Yeah, the same exact thing, even better, because the second time we went back, we placed everything in the exact same location. But in addition to that, we set up REM pods and we set up cat balls in the same area, in the same room, and then went back upstairs. And what we captured were the cat balls, the grid light going off simultaneously in response to our questions that we were asking.
Upstairs.
And yes.
Wow. So
We were upstairs.
You're getting upstairs, and then downstairs you're getting the answers that you want upstairs.
Yes. So we were kind of on a split screen, and we had another video going upstairs, so that we could kind of document, the questions we were asking. And
awesome.
yeah, it was very cool.
All right, let's play this video. So while these are going off, you're asking questions on the Estes method upstairs, and it's flashing while you're upstairs. And wow.
Yep. And so we didn't think we were getting responses, but after reviewing this, it's like, oh yeah, we were getting responses.
Yeah.
And the very cool thing, another cool thing that I'll add to that is that this laser grid we were using is one that it was a newer one for us, but one that we had probably used about 4 times previous.
Right.
And it's never done this before, and it's never done this after. At this location is the only location that it turns off and then back on. It actually, when it shuts off, the batteries are dead. When it shuts off at other locations, it's done.
Yeah. Wow. Now this laser grid, it's literally just to click on the back like a regular flashlight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's shutting this off and on is literally clicking the button on the back of the flashlight. That is awesome.
It's got to take a lot of force to do that.
Yeah, definitely. So do you guys have anything upcoming, any investigations or projects that you would like to promote? Or
well, I'll say that we have hours and hours of evidence that we haven't even gotten to go through yet. Video, EVPs. It's just finding the time sometimes to sift through all of it. And
Yeah.
so we're continuing to find things,
Right.
as we go through that, which is pretty cool. We do have, like I said, the funeral home investigation that we're going to be live at on the 30th. We have some cemetery tours that we're planning for October. And then in December, we have a 2-day event at Edinburgh Manor that we're going to be returning for. And we've never done a 2-day event there. So we're pretty excited about that one.
So if everybody wants to know, I have links for everybody. This is Spirit Squad Paranormal on the YouTube. They also have a Facebook and an Instagram. All Spirit Squad Paranormal, correct?
Yes.
Or Spirit Squad Pit is your,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
this is your Instagram. If anybody wants to go check them out, we'll let it play. Scroll faster. All right. So, if anybody watches this show, they know what's going on next.
Actually, we have an announcement ourselves for an upcoming thing that we're doing.
Ooh, do we?
Yeah, I think we should.
Should we tell them?
I think we should before we forget.
Sure. We do forget about a lot of stuff. We do.
We'll just be like, all right, guys, it's Saturday, the thing you've been waiting for who knows how long. So this Saturday, correct?
This Saturday, we will have another live investigation at an old school, maybe.
We'll drop some hints.
Maybe. Jen's inspiring us to drop the hints. It sounds like an
Look for
awesome
it.
idea.
So
So,
we'll let you guys guess where we're going. We look forward to seeing you there. We'll let everybody know when we're going to be live and when we get there, like we did with the May Stringer House.
yes. So, the time of the show is Question of the Week.
Question of the week.
Yeah. All right. So anybody that ever watches this live stream knows what to do. So I will play a video in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this question. We will ask Jen first and then get the comments. Here's the video. Ooh, there we go.
What do you think, Jen?
So Jen, do you believe that objects can be haunted?
I absolutely do.
Do you guys own any haunted objects? Personally?
I've seen objects. Yeah, don't have anything that cool, but I have seen objects that have attachments to them in the past, and I just, it's about energy and intention, right? Like, it depends on if somebody's very connected to something when they're alive and it's very meaningful to them, sentimental. Of course, that's going to be something that they're drawn to.
Right.
If they're still here in the afterlife.
Right. Yeah, they actually my friend Lizzie messaged us earlier. Hi, Lizzie.
I think that's Sophie.
Oh, Sophie, Lizzie, same person,
Both
kinda. So I own a haunted object. Her name is Shannon. It's a 1920s doll and it has human hair. It is set off K2s. It's talked through the spirit box, and Sarah hates it.
She's not allowed in the house.
It's in storage right now, unfortunately. So, but we have one comment. Yeah. So Harlem says absolutely. All right. Anybody else in the comments want to answer the question of the week? No? Oh,
Nope.
We got one. That's why I think those items become trigger objects from attachments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from what we were told about this beautiful doll,
Careful.
I can't pick them up right now.
She's
Pick
not-
her up right
You're
now.
not allowed to pick her up.
So both owners have warned us that she's very moody.
Yep.
And to be careful. So she's been saged. She's surrounded by protected stones, and we love her already.
She's getting plenty of attention, Emma.
So, if you would say one thing about your team and what your goal is with this team, what would it be?
Well, we are very committed to like a research aspect of things.
Okay.
We love what we do. We love the opportunity to be able to go out and spend time together and to do something together that we all really love and enjoy.
Right.
But when we capture something that is really legitimate evidence, or what at least seems to us to be legitimate evidence that we can't find any other reason behind it happening,
Right.
that is just so, it's just exhilarating feeling, to be able to look at something and be like, yeah, we captured that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we want to go out and get that thrill for just being an investigator. You're like, all right, new location, cool. But it's also helping people. Like, it's helping
Right.
spirits. That's the thing that I tell people when they like, oh my God, you're an investigator. Do you see creepy ghosts and demons and all this? I'm like, that's not how it is all the time.
No.
Like,
No.
I can't say that there's not evil spirits. That's none of that. I've never ran into anything like that yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the time it's spirits that can't talk to anybody anymore. That just so excited to you be there and actually communicate with you. Like, honestly, I'd much rather get a personal experience than get anything on camera because I'm there to help. I'm not there to just to get footage.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Any true investigator is there to help and not, oh, I'm going to make millions of dollars doing this.
Oh, yes.
You
Yes.
are not.
You're gonna make so much.
You
money
are
doing
going to
this.
spend so much more money than you're going to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the research aspect of it, that's where it all comes in. That's where it all comes into play,
Right.
because that's where it all comes into play, because when you can, kind of prove some of those happenings,
Yeah.
that really helps people.
Right.
That helps people realize that, the things that they're hearing and the things that are going on, maybe in their homes, are legitimate. That it's really happening. And
Right.
then you can kind of help them move past that. Help, maybe whatever may be stuck there, have a voice so that you
Right.
can, move forward with that.
I
Absolutely.
think you just got video bombed.
Oh, I probably did.
Somebody went behind you, creeping under
I
the
probably did. Doesn't surprise me.
Nathan, my buddy Nathan.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's
Sorry
okay.
about that, guys.
Are you sure your house isn't haunted? Are you sure?
I don't know. What did they look like?
I mean, they were wearing white, so.
Yeah.
What? So I want to greatly appreciate you coming on and hanging out and talking to us.
Yes, thank you for your time. Thank you for meeting with us twice before this.
Yeah.
We're
No problem.
definitely going to try to have you on again, either later this season or next season.
Yeah,
We're
we
playing for
love
all the
we love
seasons.
contacting the people that we've interviewed
We love bringing people
because
back.
you never know what's going to happen in the next investigation
Yeah, you
and
might
what
have
evidence
something
you're
new.
going to get. So, welcome to the Underworld family.
Thank you for coming.
You're here for life now.
Thank you for having us. And if we come across anything else that's interesting, we'll forward it on to you.
Absolutely. And if you're ever in Florida, come and see us. We'd love to do an investigation with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Florida'd be amazing.
If
It
I'm
is.
ever your way, we'll hit you up and we'll do something together.
Actually, we do have our event coming up in October, which you have plenty of time to get on here for.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I think we should
Should
show her,
we show her the flyer?
maybe entice her a little like we have with the other people.
Are you going to tell me where you're going?
I mean, Yeah.
Here it is. Watch this. So that is the most wonderful jail that I've ever been through. That's our friend Henry Lee. We're doing Para-Unity Ghoul Fest convention. I probably said that backwards. We're just going with it.
We are still updating and tweaking with the flyer because Henry is still having more people say that they're coming in.
We have a couple more guests that we can't see yet.
So look forward for next week because that's going to be updated hopefully by next week.
Yes, it will.
It'll keep getting updated until probably the week of the convention.
So we have 2 people coming from out of state maybe to this convention. You
Are we
never
going to
know.
make it a third?
You might want to hang out in Florida in October. It's not so cold, you know.
Oh, it's so tempting.
Yeah,
Halloween in Florida is pretty good.
But again, we want to thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We definitely need to do this again sometime.
We definitely are going to do this again. Probably next season. I think we're booked all up for this season, but we're definitely going to be in contact with you.
Okay, thank you. Looking forward to it.
I hope you have a great night, and thank you again for coming.
You and your team, because they have been commenting on our YouTube.
Yeah, definitely go over to their YouTube, go to their Facebook, show them some love. Show them love like you show us love, because they deserve it. And everybody, we believe in Para-Unity. We're all in this together, and we all have the same goals. So
ha 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 ha. Para-Unity. Because that's the name of the convention.
That one went over there. But again, I hope you have a great night and definitely stay in contact with us.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Watch our next video so you can try to get the hints.
All right. You have a great night, Jen.
I will. You too.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? This is the first little interview that we've been doing.
Yeah. It was a quiet night. It was nice. But you know what? Next time we go to the Stringer house, I'm having one of the cameras out so I can set up and record the end of the night because that was amazing.
It was. I really wish we would have filmed that. But unfortunately, all of our stuff was almost dead.
My phone was at 1%. Everything was put away. He didn't even think about bringing me a dang camera.
I did bring a camera. Jen and Emma both can vouch for this. We went downstairs. I went downstairs while she was doing the Estes method. And I went to go get our IR camera. And the other camera. And I let it play. I started filming. And about 5 seconds in, all the batteries died. What can you say? I told them to use the energy, and they used the energy for my camera. So, what do you guys think of the live stream? Should we do another one? Write it in the comments below if you guys want to see another live stream Saturday.
I mean, we're going to do it anyway, so If you guys want to sit and
Ooh.
watch, go for it.
Please come and
we'd
sit
love-
and watch.
We'd love to see it. See everyone there.
We actually have a busy weekend. We're going to be doing this investigation on Saturday. And then Sunday, we also have a guest.
We do?
Another interview.
This is news to me.
Yo. Right here on our YouTube and Facebook. Come and enjoy. Remember, always stay creepy, friends.
Thank you guys. We love you.
See ya.